We're here on February the 5th, Tuesday afternoon at 4:20 in Dad's hospital room, going over his final plans and desires and what he wants to happen with his affairs. Let's start with the office.
The office, and when Mama and Marla and Mandy will make this final decisions of what it goes with there. As long as I'm alive, I want to be included in any and all part of the decisions made. And I want from Claudia and Adriana to be given every fair opportunity to keep it, if not to be sold to the highest bidder.
How much time are we supposed to give Claudia and Adriana?
60 days. Because if they're not ready to take the test, it'll take them that long to apply for it and to get a date on it.
Are you okay with us having it on the market in the meantime? Because they've wavered on their deadlines before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would talk with that guy and see how much is his plan.
I will call the guy. I will get his contact information to call him and see how serious he is. But my thought process is that we give them a timeline, 60 days. But in the meantime, they need to know it's on the market. And if someone comes along with money to buy prior to the 60 days, they're out. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. And the reason for that is simple, that I like for them to keep it, is because they already have a relationship with the clients.
I understand that. But they've also been given 2 years to work on this.
And I have got clients that
they could go on with a
been
new
with me
buyer.
for over 20 years.
Right, and we could also try to work it to where if someone else buys it, then they stay on as employees for whoever buys it. And they would probably, I would think, want them to stay on.
So they need Spanish-speaking people. That is what
Right.
they joke that anyway. If he doesn't have a Spanish-speaking person, whoever buys it would have a problem.
Right, and so I'm sure they would value them and want to keep them on.
So,
with the office, let's say we find a buyer and we sell it. Where does the money go?
the money should get to separate account to first pay for my medical expenses, if that is the case. If not, to go to mom.
Okay. Lost my train of thought.
I believe that with financial aid, most of whatever is left could be covered.
Well, we don't know that going in, and we don't know what all care you're going to need from here on out.
Every 10,000 years, I dream I'll come up with a mess like this.
So, are you?
That sucks.
So we have also discussed going ahead and starting to move some of your personal things out and bring boxes one at a time or something for you to start going through. Are you okay with that?
I don't believe we need to go through that trouble until we see what happens with rehab. I already mentioned to you all the Spanish books and the health book and whatever need to be donated to the church. It's going to get a whole lot more credit donated from the church because you will put the value to it, and that will be you take it to the bookstore to sell.
I understand that, but I also am getting at we need to start cleaning out the office. The extra refrigerator there that you don't need, the bicycle you're not going to ride.
It will take time to do it.
Are you okay with me and Mom and Mandy going in there and starting to take pictures of items to start selling?
Yes. I could talk with the pastor to okay with him to donate all that.
To donate the books. Okay.
And what the stuff is going to be, and then once again, you want to throw it away, that's different.
That's fine, and I can send it via Claudia for her to get it to their church.
Need to make an inventory of what it is.
Well, I will, but yes.
I have tried to make an inventory of that stuff once or twice, and it seems like it goes halfway through and then phones off.
Okay.
So.
All right, let's, we can come back to that if you think of something else. Let's move on to your medical care. Going forward from February the 5th at 4:25.
I want you, Mama and Melissa, to be look after my medical care and any decision to be equally made.
Okay.
Obviously, if I'm still alive, I like to be included in when the decision is being made. And as much as possible, all information to be shared in the meanwhile.
Okay.
So everybody is in the loop of what is happening.
Agreed.
Goes equally with my present doctors. Melissa has made a big emphasis that the current doctors be kept in the loop, which I think is wise to that effect, because if and when I get out of here, I'll be going back to the same doctors.
Right.
And the one that has shown the greatest interest is the kidney doctor.
Right, Dr. Gupta. Agreed.
Yeah. So, beyond that, I don't know a whole lot to say in the respect.
Okay. You have 3 vehicles. You have the Jeep Liberty, you have Grandma's old car, you have your red Jeep. You're okay with the Jeep Liberty and Grandma's car being sold? The title and the keys are in your office.
Mm-hmm. The keys for the Chevrolet and my key ring
are on your key ring, which Mom has your key rings. Your red Jeep. At this point, you want us to hang on to the red Jeep because it's easier for you to get in and out of, and okay.
I'm not gonna keep it if she wants it.
Okay. Moving on from there, and of course, the money sold from the Jeep Liberty into Grandma's car would be to go into the account to cover your medical care. We move from there. You've got a shed at Joe's that's located in Woodstock?
Ackworth.
In Ackworth. Okay. And
you know where old Cox farm used to be at?
Yeah.
Across the house from him, there's the road that turns right in there. This place is the first place on the road.
Okay. I've already gotten Joey's phone number from Joe, so I'll contact him. The keys to the shed are on the same key ring, correct?
And Joey knows all about the extra engine for the Liberty. That is out there. Where is it at? There are several things that they are not in the shed, like the old little tractor. The garden tractor is in the shed over there, but it's not in the same shed. It's in another shed.
But Joey's aware of where all your things are. And are you okay with us starting to go through that shed and starting to liquidate and sell items out of there?
Yeah.
Okay. And the money from proceeds sold also go to the same account?
Tools are something that costs a lot of money when you buy them, and the next day they aren't worth anything. You try to sell it.
Right.
Same way as furniture and books and that sort of thing.
So out of your tools that you know that you have there, if there's anything specific, you need to name who you want what to go to.
At this moment, I cannot think of anybody except any family member. If it's any specific tool that Justin needs.
Okay.
All the rest of it needs to be sold for the best buy.
Okay. And you want Justin to have your toolbox. And I'll know when I see it which toolbox it is that goes to him.
It's a big red toolbox.
Okay.
There are two red toolboxes in there. One is an old Craftsman. This one is a much newer toolbox, a much bigger toolbox.
Okay.
I am sure he doesn't have a toolbox like that, and of course if he has one, then hallelujah, sell it.
Okay. All right.
Like I have stated, as long as I'm alive, I like to have some say.
Well, we will, and I'll let you know before as I take pictures of stuff to try to sell, I'll get your input, because you'll know more what it is than I will, and you'll know more of probably what it could be sold for than I would.
All right, what else do we need to cover?
Do you have anything else we need to discuss? Your final wishes, you stated you wanted in the prayer garden at church.
Oh, man.
And that's already been approved by the church board, correct?
It's a matter of fact, only 12 people are have been allowed to be buried.
All right, so when that time comes, I'm to contact the pastor.
I will have him informed of all of this.
Okay.
The old pastors knew it. This new pastor need to be informed about that.
Okay.
The old pastors knew it. This new one, I'll get in touch with him.
Okay.
He has called me here twice, but I've not made it. He is still trying to move from Augusta to Cartersville or somewhere in that direction. And at the same time, he's servicing the church. So.
Okay. The account that will be opened up for your medical care, whose names do you want on that account?
That account don't need all you as a co-signer.
So do you want Mom to be primary on it? To make,
Probably.
she's probably the best one with money decisions.
Probably. Nobody can stretch a dollar more than your mother anyway.
Mom, if you're not okay with that, you need to speak up now.
If I decide later I'm not, who do you want to be on it?
Marla, Melissa, doesn't matter to me.
You need to make a decision.
Probably you.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Not that I can think of at this moment.
We'll reconvene if you think of something else.
That's correct. And if it's anything else we haven't covered, I think we covered it the other day in your notes.
Okay.
So we'll go from there.
What we covered the other day
Was
that it's
this?
on record, and I can email it out, was what the security code was for the office, the password to get into your computer at the office so that I can access it to start pulling stuff for your taxes. And we discussed where the titles for the Jeeps were and where your safe was at the office, and you said the keys were on the same key ring as everything else.
Yes, that is so.
And then you also discussed what books you wanted donated to the church and what CDs and DVDs.
Probably the majority of the books, with the exception you'll want to keep.
Okay.
The Hill's book in there you'll not want to keep. And there are probably CDs that you'll want to keep.
Okay.
There are some spiritual CDs in there that are awesome. There's one of Daniel that I have seen 2 or 3 times because it's really good.
Okay. And like I said, I'll either start sending you pictures or running stuff by you prior to liquidating.
All right. Anything else for everybody?